Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel where I've got a big smile on my face, and that's because about 40 minutes ago, this man on screen over here, Scott McTominay, rescued Manchester United from the depths of despair. Did he just save Erik ten Hag's job? Maybe, I'm not too sure. First of all, can you guys actually even hear what I'm saying? Get in chat, let me know that everything's coming across all right. Let me know your thoughts on the game, give me a 3-word review. What a moment for Manchester United. We needed it. We needed it. Was it a pretty performance? Not really. It wasn't great, was it? It wasn't pretty. It wasn't perfect. It was questionable from minute 1 till minute 90. But wowzers. From the 93rd minute onwards, was it? What a moment for Manchester United. So, get in chat down below and let me know what you thought of that game. Let me know what you think of this man, Scott McTominay. All I can say is, I hope he has a really good night's sleep tonight. He deserves a very good night's sleep. Absolutely incredible with his late impact. So, I'll be honest, I'm out of breath coming into this. I barely got a voice. You guys know that I've been ill recently. Just obviously celebrated that goal. Got quite a lot, so the voice isn't too great. I'm not in a great way. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. Codename, good to see you, my friend. Pablo as well. Manchester United won a game. Good day to be alive. I cannot tell you the lift that result has given me. We have this crisis cap, which we wear when United are in trouble and not doing very well. And I know I was very close to putting it on for this, but we don't need it anymore because we won. It was scrappy. It was messy. It was horrible. But I think it was so needed for United. Now, I know that we may not get many views on this stream because I know we're competing with United Stand. We're competing with whoever else might be live. There's going to be a lot of people talking about this. Quite frankly, though, I don't care because I want to come and share the energy with you guys. So what are we saying? Codename is saying we're bloody awful. We got a scrappy win. Yeah, probably. In terms of our tactical breakdown, we'll probably cover that a bit more in depth tomorrow morning. I haven't even got the starting 11s right. I just realised, so we need to sort that out. But yeah, Scotty too hotty strikes again, says Matt. It was, like I said, it was so needed. I don't know what else to say. It was just such a needed result. Pavel saying, I stopped watching the game. I lost all hopes. You should know as a United fan, you don't turn it off. Unless it's the Liverpool 7-0. You don't turn it off until the very end because there's always a chance, especially at Old Trafford, there's always a chance that you might just get something. Codename saying, this match really had me scratching the purpose of buying Onana and Mount. I mean, yeah, obviously Onana, it's terrible what he does for the goal. It's absolutely horrendous. The same for Casemiro and Lindelof. 3 horrible mistakes on that goal. It's not ideal. As for Mason Mount, I actually thought Mason Mount played pretty well. Not as good as he has in the last 2 games, but I thought he was alright still. Obviously out of position. Maguire against low blocks has to happen from now on. Spot on, I completely agree, and I hope he gets the plaudits that he deserves today, because I thought he was very good, and I think his ability to progress the ball is just so needed. Even defensively, he was calm, he felt like he was always in control. Muhammad Ali is saying, it's a win, but we were not that good. Yeah. Pretty much sums it up. Nothing better than that emotion from a last-minute winner, especially one. It's a very United goal recently that we've actually been able to celebrate. There's been no VAR look where the goal's offside or the ball's off the pitch or anything like that. We actually just scored and were able to celebrate it. So thank you, Scott McTominay, for actually giving us a rare moment this season of happiness. Was Erik ten Hag in trouble if we had lost that 1-0? Let me know what you think in chat. Were we on the borderline there of him being in trouble? Let me know what you think. I'm just going to quickly, off screen, change the lineup so we can go through that properly. So let me just get that up. What number's Johnny Evans? Can anyone remember? Is he 35? Oh, I made that up. But if you just give me 1 second, we'll get the starting 11s up on screen. Where's Dallo? Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone on the channel. We've got Rashford on the left wing, Casemiro. You know what? I'll put this on screen for you guys so you can see it. Here we go. Bosh. You guys seeing that? Lovely stuff. We had Hoyland up top. Yeah, it was something like this, right? In the first half, something like this. Here we go. This is how Brentford were lined up. This is how Manchester United were lined up, I do believe. Correct me if I got anything wrong there. Matt Wick saying, supposedly the first time we've ever won a game after being behind going into extra time. Is that a Premier League stat, do you mean, in the Premier League? I don't know if that's true or not, but wow. Wow. What a moment to witness. It's great to be part of that. Maguire, man of the match. I am really happy Ten Hag had the balls to take off Casemiro. Should I admit this or not? Should I admit this? obviously we kind of tune back in for the second half, and I see Christian Eriksen's coming on the pitch, and I was literally, whilst I was watching it, I was literally in front of my TV literally begging that it was going to be Casemiro's number which came up. And like I said, I'm glad that Ten Hag had the balls basically to bring him off, because he was horrendous in that first half. He did cost United the goal, as did Lindelof, as did Onana. It's awful from all three of them. You can't really defend it. We have to use this momentum going forward. Hopefully the boys get to experience positivity in the training grounds over the next couple of weeks. So, do you think it's now a good thing that it's the international break? Or do you think it's actually a bad thing? Do you think United now could do with having another game in 3 days and taking the positivity into it? Or do you think it's good to now have 2 weeks where our last result was actually a win and 3 points? Let me know what you think. Amrabat as a 6 needs to happen. Yeah, second half, United looked so much more controlled in possession. So much more controlled. Again, it's not perfect, and we'll go through it in a second, and of course more in depth in the morning. But, yeah. Second half in particular, once we saw the changes, it was so much better on the ball. Anthony coming on as well had a massive, massive difference, a massive impact. We just play too slow at times. It takes 2 or 3 passes to switch play, and then 2 or 3 touches before we pass the ball. We will get there though. Yeah, I'll come on to that in a second. Amrabat was a bit rusty but decent. Yeah, I think we've seen him better, but I think he certainly brought an element of control to the side. What happened to Casemiro? He was brilliant at Carabao Cup, abysmal in Premier League matches. No idea. I don't know, AJ, but putting yourself in a higher up position, who will come to Man United? That is a great standard. I don't think if Ten Hag left now, someone good will come like Flick, Nagelsmann or Zidane. That's exactly why I'd keep Ten Hag. Ten Hag is the man for this club. I think, let's just quickly cover the elephant in the room here. Apart from the Scott McTominay goal, look at this starting 11. It is absolutely horrendous. That back four, the mobility in the back four is awful. So obviously it was a bad performance, and if United had lost that game 1-0, there would have been a lot of talk about Erik Ten Hag and his future with the job. But just look at that back four. It's bad. It doesn't... individually, they're good players. But in terms of profiling them with each other, the mobility of a Lindelof, Evans, Maguire, and to an extent Dalot back four is awful. So it was always going to be a hard game. Good to soak in the win, IMO. Yeah, fair enough. Better for international break. They can rest better mentally with a win before the break. Yeah, it's absolutely huge that United won this game going into the international break. I think a loss would have been a problem. Times when the ball can be released, held too long and ended up being passed back, hence very little progressive passes for United. Yeah, United at times in this game had kind of the opposite problem to what I've had recently. A lot of the time recently we've seen balls kind of fired forward too quickly. In this game it was a little bit more sideways, a little bit more passive. But ultimately, I think it was that persistence. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a stat. It was that persistence in going, keeping the ball, which I actually think helped United in the end. 64% possession total. I think that was important. We just desperately need players back. Spot on. Over 100 people in here right now, which is brilliant. Because like I said, I know we're competing with some very big channels today. Leave a like on the stream while you're here. Thank you very much for joining, though. Casemiro needs to go Saudi next year. Fair enough. I think Bruno or Mount should play as number 10 and Anthony out wide on the wing. I do agree. We need more from Amrabat. I'm really impressed with him. Onana should be benched. Yeah, Amrabat was good. He's definitely got a level to go to, but we've got to remember he's only played a few games since last season because of injury. Onana has to improve. I think his passing was still good, but he does have to improve his shot stop and it's his footwork. If you go back and watch the goal, he just doesn't seem set for shots from range. Best United channel out there, though. Thank you very much. Spread the word that we are the best. Leave a like on the stream while you're here, guys. Leave a like. Only if you enjoy it. Actually, even if you don't enjoy it, leave a like. Why not? It's free. It's something nice to do, innit? Let's address some of the problems, right? Because we're talking about... Obviously, this was not a good performance. It was bad. But let's try and talk about some of the reasons why it might be bad. Let's say United are going to move the ball forward down the left-hand side, right? In the first 45 minutes during the setup. Lindelof is going to get forward. Amrabat is going to get forward. So now when the ball comes to Marcus Rashford, what we spoke about in our tactical preview is that Brentford will heavily overload the ball side like this. They get all their players, even their far-sided midfielder, tucked in and almost becomes the 6. They crowd the ball one side that much. Plus, I've got them way too high here. I've done them a favour. They were all the way back here. I've got that back line wrong, haven't I? Who played instead of Jorgensen? We'll fix that. But regardless... if you just think about it in terms of link up and patterns, Marcus Rashford's receiving the ball on the left wing, and we've got Lindelof, a centre-back, trying to support him with link up play, and Amrabat a holding midfielder. I don't think it was ever going to be ideal when those are the sort of players which Marcus Rashford's trying to link up with. You know, he hasn't got that Bruno Fernandes near him. He hasn't got that fullback getting around him. Lindelof tried his best, but let's be honest, when Lindelof overlaps and gets to the byline, you don't get too excited because it's Victor Lindelof. So that's one of the reasons why United really struggled, simply because Ten Hag has no option with the starting 11. This back four had to play. There's not a single other defender available. Just look at the bench. There weren't any. So it's always going to be difficult. Lindelof and Amrabat are getting into this area. It's a centre-back and a holding midfielder trying to link the attack up and make an attack. It's never going to be ideal. Then down the other side, we've got Bruno Fernandes who wants to come inside. We've got Mason Mount who wants to come inside. So whichever one of them is playing wide right, they're moving inside. So United have now no ability to really go stretch the other side. So you can't really get that switch out. Dalot eventually got forward, and I thought Dalot was absolutely incredible. Can we have a talk about Dalot? I thought he was absolutely brilliant in this game. So give me your Dalot feedback in the chat. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Let's just read through chat real quick. I'd still use Garnacho at the 55th or 55th/60th minute. Yeah, I thought he was really good when he came on. He changed the game. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I've realised I hadn't even got Scott McTominay's name written down. If anyone deserves their name written down for this particular game, I think we'll all agree it's probably Scott McTominay. What an impact. Love your videos. Always wait for your analysis. Thank you very much. Take a chance against Onana and it's 70% a goal. Yeah, it feels that way a little bit. Sometimes all we need is a reset. First 25 minutes. Oops, hang on. It just disappeared. First 25 minutes, we were decent, good. After conceding goal, everyone playing hero ball, squeezing centre and no width. Yeah, the width was a real problem. Because like I said, Mount and Fernandes both want to come inside. Down the left, we've only really got Rashford, who's going to be effective. And I actually thought he played quite well. Dalot tried his best, and like I said, I actually think he was very good. But it's just not optimal when you're trying to break down a defence which had an unbelievable amount of players behind the ball. I don't have access to their average positions. Hopefully I will by tomorrow morning's video. But I can't imagine they were that high up the pitch. I would imagine they were quite deep and condensed because these players were, you know, they were all behind the ball, making it so difficult. Teams like City struggle to break this down. That's why, though, you can't make individual errors and just give away a goal so cheaply, because if you do, it suits Brentford down to a T. But at the end of the day, from a tactical point of view, you know, tactics really in depth on this channel, there's one difference. We have a Scott McTominay, a McTerminator, they don't. So we're always going to win realistically, am I right? Let's read through some of this. Dalot was incredible. Ten Hag should have brought on Anthony at half-time because we needed width and more control. Yeah, obviously with Anthony, he hasn't played for a while properly, so I don't know if there's a fitness issue maybe. But yeah, he definitely made a big difference when he came on. Dalot was really good, but he needs to keep threat performance, not like the first goal against Galatasaray. Yeah, Dalot was good, but a bit rough around the edges. His crossing wasn't the best. Yeah, I'll give you that. I think his crossing was poor. I think he was good for like 3/4 of the pitch, maybe even 4/5 of the pitch. But in the final third, he weren't great. I thought he was particularly impressive, though, in these deeper areas where Brentford are going man-to-man. He looked like the one player who could kind of break the press by showing 1-versus-1 ability to beat his man and go forward. I thought he'd done that really well, sometimes winning the free kick, sometimes able to get forward. In general, I thought he was good. Casemiro deservedly got dropped. Yeah, like I said already, I was physically begging for him to come off at half-time. It's not my proudest moment. Hear me out. Anthony at left-back. Interesting shout. Kind of somewhat like Barca used Balde, which would allow the left wing to play as an inside forward, which would likely benefit Rashford Garnacho. It's an idea we could look into in the future. We definitely need a Shaw. Yeah, 100%. This team needs balance. This team really needs balance. A codename saying, to be honest, Rashford, Bruno and Casemiro might need some dropping. I think Casemiro needs dropping. I don't think the other two do. I think Bruno Fernandes is crucial still. And I thought Rashford was alright today. I don't think he was great, but just look at what we've got on screen at the moment. He's trying to link up creatively with Amrabat and Lindelof. He's not going to achieve too much. I thought he was United's only hope. For the first hour, I thought he was the only one who could do anything. Garnacho, of course, coming on was brilliant. Reguilon, hopefully fit after the international break, though he has been seen in training. Amrabat was good, just what we need as a 6. Yeah, in that second half especially, when United started to take control of the game, got Casemiro off the pitch, so you're keeping the ball a bit better anyway. I thought he was brilliant. I think he showed what we wanted from him when we signed him. We shouldn't drop Rashford yet. It's not Rashford's fault. He has no fullback overlapping him. He's more of a forward that needs Shaw Reguilon. Yeah, I mean, Rashford always wants to come into these areas, doesn't he? And like I said, Lindelof overlapping him or Amrabat in recent weeks, it's just not ideal. They're trying their best, but it's not ideal. We have over 200 views. Let's go. We do. Welcome to the stream. Over 200 of you. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've only got 40 likes, though. What's going on there? You should probably like the stream. Do I think Amrabat, Hannibal Mejbri, and Bruno Fernandes would work? We'd have to look into it. I mean, I think Mason Mount's playing really well at the moment as well, though. Wow, wow, wow. FP, good to see you, my man. I hope you're well. Did you enjoy that? I assume you were watching the game. Wow, wow, wow. It's probably the best 3 words to describe it. Great comeback from says the United wings. Completely agree. Those saying Dalot was good, give your head a wobble. Oh, he had a decent game, nothing more. With better teams than Brentford, he struggles. He's a pathetic defender and wouldn't play in any top 6 teams. You know what, Bazza? I like your positive energy. Love that from you. Do you think Martial is better suited to helping us break down low blocks instead of Højlund? I actually thought Højlund was really good. It's just a shame he didn't get a single chance created for him. I thought the one thing I would say, which was actually working quite nicely in that first hour or so, is that Rashford's getting the ball in this sort of position here. He's firing it into the feet of Højlund, and that's actually quite a nice little move. I thought Højlund's hold-up play was really good in these areas. It's a shame that we didn't get more runners around him. There's a few times the ball's going into these areas, and with players like Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes on the pitch, you kind of expect someone then going past him to maybe drag a defender, make some room. He seems a little bit isolated, which was weird because United have got so much of the ball. They're camped literally in this position for pretty much the whole game. United are so high, so many players forward, but Højlund's still isolated. So that kind of timing of link play wasn't quite right, but yeah, that's something which needs to be worked on moving forward, absolutely. Perhaps we'll cover that a bit more in the video tomorrow. For those of you that are new here, by the way, tomorrow morning I will properly analyse and break this game down and tell you exactly what went well, exactly what went wrong, and I do that for every single United video. So if you are interested, subscribe to the channel, get notifications on so you don't miss a stream or a video. We cover pretty much everything Manchester United. If you ask the people in chat, it's all we talk about really. Probably a little bit too much. Maybe I'm obsessed, but hey ho, hey ho. Rashford absolutely brilliant, only attacking threat. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't go quite as far as brilliant, but I certainly thought he was United's biggest attacking threat until McTominay came on the pitch. Yeah, I think he was really good. Højlund looks quite alone while receiving the ball back at the goal and somehow hold for a couple in seconds is impressive. Yeah, I think Højlund done really well. It's just a shame that we didn't get that extra player near him. So again, like I said, it was mainly Rashford playing his ball into his feet. On a couple of occasions, Amrabat. And he's holding it up. He's pinning back some really good centre-backs. Real good physical centre-backs. He's pinning them back well, but he then just needs that extra player to link with. Let me just sort out the defence because it's annoying me that we've got this in the wrong order. 1 second. So this is 20. Ayer. Shout out to Ayer, by the way. The Brentford centre-back who celebrated winner throw-in on the 88th minute just to lose the game. Unlucky, mate. Bruce Duncan saying recently stumbled across this channel for the tactics. Thumbs up. Thank you very much, my friend. I hope you're enjoying the content. Yeah, as you know by now, I'm sure we cover quite a lot, so I do appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying it. Front duo, Højlund and McSauce. What's the best name for him? McSauce? McTerminator? What's your favourite term? Let me know. What do you think of an Amrabat, Kobe Minu, and Bruno/Mount midfield, AJ? It's definitely something that we could look into. It's definitely it sounds nice on paper. You've got good ball playing ability in there. It does mean you drop one of Mount or Bruno Fernandes, so you've got to try and figure it out. But yeah, I'm seeing Scott McSaviour. I like that. Scotty McHotty. Scotty 2 Hotty's another good one. Scotsman. Yeah. 2 goals in 30 time to tribute Lady Cathy. Yep, perfect. Perfect fitting tribute for Cathy Ferguson. May she rest in peace. Of course, horribly sad news. But it was quite a fitting tribute at Old Trafford. It was a nice moment for Old Trafford in general, I think. It was a lovely tribute. Do you think that using Bruno on the flank is a bit redundant since his only method of chance creation is swinging in the crosses and United don't really have any aerial threat? I think particularly in this game, because what we saw was Bruno Fernandes pulling into this position, obviously starting on the right wing most of the time. When he does cross it, it's not just a lack of attacking threat. In this game, we saw a lack of people actually getting in there. Højlund was often in there, but apart from that, there was no one else really. We saw a lot of United players kind of lined up on the edge here. And again, it's a balance thing, because what we've seen in other weeks is players push forward too quickly. In this game, we saw players not pushing forward quickly enough. So again, it's a balance thing. But I think probably what we've learned in the last few games, I think we knew it anyway, is that I think Bruno Fernandes has to play central at all costs, as does Sofiane Amrabat. Then you've got a decision to make. Do you play Mason Mount with them, Casemiro, Scott McTominay, Kobe Mainu, Christian Eriksen? Do you move one of those guys out wide, or do you play Anthony? But I definitely think get Bruno Fernandes back in the middle. Iron Viking, good to see you, my man. Hope you're well. Saying, AJ, this was draining, bro. Seriously. Oh, it was draining. I was about to come into this stream with the most horrific downbeat energy you've ever seen. I was feeling defeated until a certain McTerminator, McSauce, whatever his name is, turned up. Absolutely brilliant. Can we get an official AJ analysis hairpiece? Maybe not, Chad, but it's good to see you. I hope you enjoyed the game. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're well. Man United... Easy for me to say. I told you I got way too much energy. Manchester United should switch to a front two. That sole striker isn't working for now. I'd rather see Man United play a 4-4-1-1, a 4-2-2, or even a 3-5-2. If you guys have ideas, basically, for different formations United could use, let me know. Give me a comment or a DM on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, kind of giving me an idea, the players you'd like to see in that 11, and maybe, just maybe, I'll do a video on it. We've spoke about the diamond before, and the 3-4-3, I believe. So I'm happy to do that content if you guys want it. First time seeing you without the hat. Well, like I said, I was going to put the crisis cap on, but I've thrown it across the room somewhere because we won, so... I don't think it's about formation anymore. It's about patterns of play, which we lack. That's a very good point. Instant change when Bruno played 10, but hopefully Bruno improves his ball retention. Yeah, I think we always know that his ball retention has to improve, but it was definitely an improvement to this United side. When we got Casemiro off the pitch, we're going to bring Anthony on. And Amrabat's going to play deep here. Bruno Fernandes is now in a central area. United instantly looked so much better. Of course, Mason Mount eventually came off as well. And Marcus Rashford, were these the changes we saw? Was it like this in the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See, this is great analysis. I'm literally struggling to count footballers. That's why you should subscribe, because this is top content. Our backline will suffer for a while due to injuries, and Onana isn't helping. Yeah, again, Onana has to do better. We'll cover the defensive problem a bit more tomorrow, but mainly the problem in the first half was that you got Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, Lindelof and Dalot. None of which are that quick or mobile. Dalot obviously the most, but these Lindelof, Evans, Maguire, that's not a mobile team. Oh, Lindelof off for Martial was the late change. Yep, I'll do that in a second, but we'll just quickly talk about this first. So you got these four want to drop off, but then you've got the attack kind of pressing, and it just made the pitch so big. It made the pitch so big for Brentford in that first half. Because like I said, the forwards are trying to apply pressure high, ignore the personnel. But the forwards are pressing high. The defence is dropping off a little bit and going, okay, we ain't got the pace, so let's drop off. And it just made the middle of the pitch so big, it was ridiculous. But let's go back to the positives. Let's get Anthony Martial on, who, to be fair to Martial, right, I think he's looked good in every little cameo we've seen from him, from the bench. I think his close control has added something every time he's come on. I've actually been quite impressed with him. We can't plan unless we have new ownership. Well summed up, red or dead. I completely agree, my friend. What do we think of Scott McTominay? Just give me some words for Scott McTominay, because enough people have asked it. I've seen it plenty of times in the past, but also today for Scotland, for Manchester United. Can this guy play higher up the pitch as a borderline second striker sort of role? McSaviour, sorry. McSauce, McTerminator, Muck saved me from sadness, whatever you want to call him. Goat. That's not a bad name, actually. That's actually a decent name for him. McTominay was fabulous. When you come in with the end of the game near and you bring that mindset, that energy and that confidence, he fought for every metre, for every ball, and he was rewarded. Yeah, I think Scott McTominay, what he done in this game, I've questioned his attitude this season so far, because I thought we saw in that Bayern game, he didn't really work properly. He weren't tracking. He weren't winning his battles. What I felt we saw in this game was the Scott McTominay that we expect. Box crashing, getting into dangerous areas, pure passion, energy, physicality. Also a bit of technical quality as well. His striking of a ball is incredible. I'll stand by that always. He's one of the best ball strikers in the Premier League. But we just saw that passionate side of his game, that physicality. This is what we need to see more. Eric Ten Hag on McTominay. This is from FP. Thank you very much. He is Man United in his heart. He is playing for the badge and gives his life. If that's what you need. I feel like recently, do United just need to go back to basics a little bit? Is there a need to just simplify things and get these players on the pitch which are just going to work hard and win battles? Is McTominay the guy for that? I mean, his name's McTominay. It probably suggests that he might be. I do not think McTominay is a midfielder. No, I think he's a much higher up the pitch player. I think he's much more effective in those areas. McTominay's finishing is honestly really good. Yeah, I genuinely think he's one of the best ball strikers in the league. I think there's other areas of his game which I'll criticise, but I think his ball striking's good. I missed the match and first part of the live stream. How did Anthony perform? Well, first of all, mate, you missed an interesting match. It weren't a great match, but a big last 5 minutes or so. In terms of how Anthony played, I think he didn't actually play great as such because a few of his passes were a little bit sloppy and things like that. But purely by getting on the pitch and just standing here and on the right wing and linking up with Dalot, he just brought something completely different. Because the problem we had in the first half was that Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes were kind of rotating between this right wing position. But they both want to come inside, and it left United so off balance, so one-sided. Getting Anthony on, it just gave United width. And, you know, we all know it on this channel. The way to break down low blocks, which Brentford very much were. They were in such a low block, I can't even show it on the screen. They were that deep. Width is key. Patience and width. And in the end, in this game, it's what we just about eventually saw in this game. And that's what I think we want. McTominay needs to be in that forward line, crashing into the box. Box crashing, absolutely, is what Scott McTominay needs to do. McTominay just did a Fellaini. David Moyes would be proud, right? Where would you play McTominay like a second striker? I mean, realistically, he shouldn't start in the team. He's still not good enough, let's be honest. I just think there's moments where you can perhaps use him. Garnacho makes an impact whenever he comes on. He was brilliant when he came on. Like I said, I actually think Rashford played pretty well. I thought Rashford had quite a good game. But Garnacho, particularly having Martial kind of dropping into these areas to link up with him as well, with McTominay making these runs into the box, it just felt quite nice. Martial's coming into these areas, kind of drawing some of the Brentford defenders. It's allowing Garnacho to get on the dribble, and he was absolutely brilliant. Is he ready yet to start games? I don't think so. Not on a regular basis, not at the highest level, as we saw at the start of the season. But as an impact player from the bench, he's so effective. He's so effective. He's such a good player to have. I think Maguire has enough merit now to be starting ahead of Lindelof, especially if Varane returns from injury. I thought Maguire was absolutely brilliant. Let me just read some numbers out to you. I haven't looked at these, so they might be terrible. 68 touches, 56 out of 62 passes, 10 out of 12 long passes. For me, that's the big thing. But also aerial duels, 2 out of 2. So defensively, I thought he was quite dominant. I thought he was quite good. There were certain times where he struggled, but I think that was more of a structure problem. Individually, I thought Maguire was quality. And I think, I agree. I think particularly against teams which are going to sit deep, I think he has to play. In the absence of Varane and Lisandro Martinez, I just think he has to start. People talking about Anthony's performance, by the way, I'm not saying he played great. I'm not saying he's the man for the future. I'm not saying he's the solution to problems. I'm just purely saying because he's a winger which holds the width, it manipulates the defence. So when Mount and Bruno play here, they both want to move inside, which means Mr. Left wing back here can go nice and narrow and compact. There's no gaps in here. Take one of them off, get Anthony on, who provides the width. It now opens up this big gap, and now Dalot can get forward. I'm not saying Anthony was wonderful or is the messiah or the solution, but his width in terms of profile is quite handy. Maguire has the ball-playing ability, which Ten Hag demands. In terms of against low blocks, yeah, I think deep he can struggle a little bit, but higher up the pitch, absolutely. Johnny Evans was also good, I thought. What did you guys think of Johnny Evans' performance? I think he was actually one of the better players on the pitch. My top 3 players on the pitch would probably be Dalot, Maguire, Evans. I mean, McTominay's got to get a shout as well, but... Thoughts on in-game management by Ten Hag today? It's always a bit of a difficult one in this sort of circumstance because you're almost like throwing the kitchen sink at it a little bit. Structure goes out the window. Ultimately, United won 2-1, so it looks like good in-game management. To be fair, I'll give Ten Hag the credit of making that change at half-time. That did change the game. Getting Christian Eriksen on for Casemiro, it definitely changed the way in which things were working. United weren't giving the ball away as much. It was better control. Let me just find Casemiro's numbers. Again, I haven't seen these, so... 19 out of 23 passes, so it's not actually as bad retention-wise as what he normally is. He wasn't just hoofing it forward all the time, but he still just weren't great, was he? And so in terms of in-game management, that change worked really well, to be fair. In hindsight, Eriksen on for Casemiro is the change that I would have made also. Anthony coming onto the pitch changed the game because he provided the width. Garnacho comes onto the pitch and is obviously key in one of the goals. And McTominay comes onto the pitch and scores a brace. I thought Martial played well from the bench as well. So, you know, I've criticised it a little bit recently. But I thought, you know, you can't really question the in-game changes. They all had a big impact. Martial played well, linked the play. Garnacho literally gets an assist. McTominay 2 goals. Anthony really stretches Brentford. So, yeah, I think it was good in-game management. Ten Hag said he bought Casemiro off for Eriksen for more football. My manager. Yeah, I'll say it again. I was literally begging at half-time for Casemiro to come off. It's not my finest moment. We don't need a new right winger or a centre-back. We need new ownership. Factos, factos, factos. Interesting point here. Newcastle kind of beat PSG with a very similar man-to-man pressing as Ten Hag tries to employ, but Newcastle players just executed it better. Yeah, I have covered that game. If you want to go check out on my channel, they made a good defensive change in that game. But yeah, it's obviously completely different profiles. Newcastle are just so much more intense in the way that they do things. Do you think Rashford should be dropped? Not personally. I thought he was good. I thought he was good today. Again, I've said it a few times already, but you may only just be joining. Because what we saw in this game was Rashford left wing, Lindelof left back, Amrabat left centre mid. This trio, or this duo I should say, Lindelof and Amrabat, linking up Rashford, doesn't scream a thriving attack. So I think he actually done quite well considering. It's been widely reported that United still have a lot of coaches from the Mourinho and Ole eras. Do you think that maybe that's why Ten Hag is struggling to enforce his tactics? Yeah, I mean, possibly. Some of it will also be just the sheer volume of injuries. It makes it difficult to build a settled team and get the right players in. Yeah, it could be a part of it. Højlund did well too, in your opinion? Yeah, I think Højlund was really good. I think he was just isolated. What I liked was his ability to generate half chances for himself. Because he wasn't really getting the ball in this area, in the 6-yard box, he did do a good job, particularly when Rashford was on the pitch. He done a good job of getting the ball into this sort of area from Rashford and then kind of pinning his man, spinning and shooting. They're not really optimal shooting positions, but I just like that he was trying to make something happen. So, yeah, I thought he had a good game. Again, it's a shame we didn't create a single chance for him, though. That's a bit unfortunate. But individually, I thought he played well. Mohammed, thank you for that suggestion. I will write the name down and have a look. Thank you very much. Ten Hag wanted Frankie de Jong and they ended up giving him Casemiro, our recruitment man. This is literally what I was talking about with my brother during the game. Yeah, I don't know how you go from one to the other. You heard what Ten Hag said about the Casemiro sub. Only what people have said in chat about he said he wanted to play more football or something. I'll go on my phone real quick and see if I can find some quotes to bring you guys. If not, get in chat and let me know some of the quotes you've heard. There you go. I'm struggling to talk, guys. Like I said, I got too much energy. Hang on, I've lost my mouse. Here we go. Did anyone see Ten Hag pointing to his watch? Yeah, it was kind of iconic, right? Kind of iconic. Chad, what are you on about? Chad has just said, AJ, you should consider setting up a will writing business as a side hustle. I think you would be very successful. As always, Chad, I appreciate your complete randomness. I love it. It brings someone different to the channel. This match proves we need more physicality in the team. I agree, actually, particularly in this starting 11, because physicality is not only your muscle and muscle mass and strength. That's one side of physicality. Another side of physicality is about athleticism, your agility. These are all physical attributes which United lacked, particularly in the starting 11 and in that defence. There was a lack of speed, a lack of turning speed, a lack of ground coverage. Yeah, I completely agree. Do you think Shaw coming back will improve Rashford? Yeah, I don't know when that will happen, but I do. Do I think it turns him into the best player in the world? No, but I think it gets something different out of him, absolutely. Rashford needs physicality, gets pushed off the ball too easily. Yeah, I feel like it's more of an intensity thing and like wanting to win the duels with Rashford, because he is actually, he's pretty tall and he is quite muscular. He just kind of like backs out of a lot of challenges. I don't know if it's because of injuries in the past. I don't know if that kind of plays in the back of his mind. But yeah, he does have a hesitance to go into battles, I do agree. When is Malacia back? No idea. FP said, what 11 should Ten Hag go for after the international break? Honestly, it's difficult to say because obviously what on earth is who's going to be available. In terms of, I would get Maguire in the team if Lisandro Martinez is still out, which he should be. So I would get Maguire in the team. I'd keep Dalot in the side. I think he's been really good. Amrabat central is key. Fernandes central is key. Rasmus Højlund starting is key. Anthony's probably going to become key again. But it's difficult to say too much because we don't know who's available. But we can definitely come back to that question in a couple of weeks for sure. I think Rashford has been playing through minor knocks for a while now. He's been overplayed. I think he's been overplayed through most of his career, really, hasn't he? No physicality, no willingness to win the ball back. Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm happy for Ten Hag. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. When Garnacho bulks up, he will be very difficult to stop. Yeah, it's going to be important with his development that you get the right balance, though, because you don't want to just build this big, bulky bloke who loses all of his agility. So it's a fine balance which the nutrition team, the physical coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, between them all have to work out. Rashford shouldn't go on international break and just work on himself. It's a fair point, but at the end of the day, he wants to be in that Euro squad next summer if England qualifies, so it's a weird one. A lot of players do pull out, though, from the international break. In your opinion, do you think that United have the personnel to play Brighton-style football? Brighton's backline are elite ball players, and I don't really think United have that yet. Yeah, truthfully, I don't. I've spoken about this. When was I speaking about it? It was on stream the other day, actually, before the Galatasaray game. And I was just saying, I don't think United have the technicians or the intelligent players to play De Zerbi football. Amrabat did his task really well, understands the balance between horizontal and vertical passing for his role. Yeah, the exciting thing, I would say, FP, is that I think he's got more to come as well. I think he's kind of got another gear to go to. In this game, he had 97% pass accuracy with 62 out of 64 passes, 75 touches, 4 out of 4 long balls, which I would have liked to see a bit more of, but again, that was probably a tactical structure issue. But yeah, I thought he was really good once again. Only lost possession 5 times, which is not bad in midfield when you've got 64% of the ball as a side. Anthony was missing so many passes. Yeah, I agree. Should we convert Casemiro to a centre-back? Possibly. We did see more switches in that second half. Yeah, the whole structure was better in the second half, wasn't it? We saw more width. Anthony on the right-hand side. Casemiro, no offence, out of the middle where he just felt a little bit clunky and weren't really doing much. Yeah, I think United were improved in every way in the second half, really. But the switches were definitely a part of that. Ten Hag made some good adjustments for the second half. Yeah, Eriksen on. I haven't got Eriksen on this screen. Who am I missing? I haven't put Eriksen in at all, but we've got one player too many. Which player didn't finish the game? Amrabat. Amrabat came off late on, didn't he? Yeah, there we go. I actually noticed them remaining much calmer and not immediately going for long shot spam. Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a few long shots, but I don't mind a couple of them. But in general, yeah. I said this earlier in the stream, actually. Yeah, it felt like the team went the other way a little bit. So normally the team fires the ball forward too quickly and loses it a lot. In this game, at times there almost wasn't quite enough risk taken, but I would rather see this side of it because it means you keep the ball a lot better and don't get counter-attacked. So, in terms of dealing with the counter-attack, Brentford had 3 shots on target all game. Considering United were really pushing players forward, that's a decent kind of return. Was Mount a mistake signing? Does not seem to fit the system, or Bruno being out of position to accommodate? Yeah, it's a weird one to judge. Mason Mount, I think, has actually been really good the last few games. One of United's best players, but it does mean Bruno's out wide. So I don't know. But when he got moved, Bruno Fernandes later on into the middle, you get a different game. I would like to see if he wants to play Bruno and Mount, but also Amrabat and Casemiro or Eriksen. I think I would rather see Mount out wide rather than Fernandes. I think Fernandes in the middle is just so key. The lesser risk-taking approach of keeping the ball is better because it puts us in the position to win late on instead of getting countered and losing. Spot on. By keeping the ball more, you don't have to run as much for a start. You don't get transitioned as much. You don't concede as many chances, which means you don't concede as many goals, which means you stay in the game. And then late on, when you've got a McTominay in the side, you could do something. In the last 3 games, Mount was better than Bruno. Yeah, I think that's completely fair. I think that's a good assessment. But Bruno's probably the better player overall. His ceiling as a player is probably probably higher. So yeah, again, it's difficult to figure it out. I think Casemiro should come off the bench. Our midfield should be Mason Mount, Bruno, and Amrabat. Yeah, I'm definitely happy to look into that. Onana needs to work on wrist training. I think his footwork as well. If you watch the goal back, he doesn't seem to adjust his feet and then spring into a dive. He almost jumps and flops onto a lot of long shots from outside of the penalty area. So, yeah. Why not put crosses into the box? Feels like it's gone out of fashion at United. Yeah, again, we've just been speaking about it. United were better at keeping the ball, but that did come at the cost of chance creation. It's something which Ten Hag needs to work on long term moving forward, but I think probably for now it's about a balance and starting at the base, which is just keeping the ball more, because it will improve you from a defensive point of view, so I don't mind it too much. Schmeichel mentioned it. He doesn't duck down, instead he jumps up, then dives to the left or to the right or whatever. Yeah, well, shout out to my brother who mentioned this, to be fair, rather than me. So my brother is as good a goalkeeper as Schmeichel, that means. I kind of missed De Gea, use of his feet to save shots. Yeah, I mean, in general, I don't miss De Gea, I'll be honest, but yeah, I did like his feet saves here and there. I think we need a back 3 in possession to really do an Amrabat, Bruno and Mount midfield to give us a bit more security against counters. Yeah, I completely agree. Maybe a fullback inverting or something. Yeah, I do agree with that. I just love how Mount runs with the ball. We also saw a bit of Amrabat ball carrying in this game, which was good to see as well. We haven't really seen too much of that since he joined the club, but I like that little aspect, which we saw in this game. Just seeing if we've got any more interesting quotes coming through, but I think these are all quotes that you guys have already said. Why is Fabrizio Romano tweeting about a United win? It's not a transfer. The team is adjusting to the new style of play from counter-attack to possession-based football. It will take some time to adjust. Yeah, it's absolutely a process. I think the start of this season has been a real setback to the process. But I think the next step for United is to maybe sacrifice a bit of chance creation for more controlled, sustained possession, because that will improve the defence. You'll keep more clean sheets. There'll be less pressure on the goalkeeper. And then from there, work on attacking patterns and things like that. How come we never had those runs into the channel, then squaring back? It's the best way to break down low blocks. Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys seen my video from this morning? Something I spoke about was United conceding a lot of cutbacks. We probably also need to talk about the fact that United never seem to score them. So cutbacks in general are an area of concern for United. Absolutely. Madrid used to push Casemiro much higher during the build-up phase. Do you think United could do the same and maybe use Bruno as a pivot? I actually think a lot of the time we are seeing Casemiro push higher in build-up, but it's like no one's then taken his place, which is a problem. Oh, I need to stretch. because we use inverted forwards, not going to the line to cut back. But of course, also you can use fullbacks to do it, so it's definitely something to work on. You're 100% right, AJ, about keeping the ball more. Yeah, I think this side would be so much better if they kept the ball more. It's something I go on about all the time. I probably repeat myself a little bit too much, but yeah. By the way, there's a lot of you guys in chat, so apologies if I miss any messages. If I do miss any messages, I do apologise. If you want a guarantee that I see your message, you can use a super chat or a donation, which guarantees that I will see what you say. And also, any money donated goes to either a new microphone or a new camera. Don't feel that you have to do it, but it would be greatly appreciated if you did, and it does guarantee that I see what you're saying. What did you think of Dalot? He was really everywhere on the pitch today, wasn't he? Yeah, I've given him a kind of a shout out already. I thought he was really good. Apart from that final delivery into the box was lacking, and I think he does need to improve in that area. But in general, I thought he had a really good game, and I thought, again, he was one of United's better players. I do think that. I saw him in a back three, in midfield, overlapping. He was doing a job of 3 players. Yeah, particularly in that first half, if we take Anthony back out and put Mason Mount back on. Particularly in this first half, where Mount and Fernandes are both moving quite narrow, Dalot was absolutely putting in a shift to try and overlap down his right-hand side. It wasn't ideal for him to do it. He had to cover a lot of ground, but he done it really well. So, yeah, he definitely deserves credit. No width on the right in the first half. Yeah, it kind of links in similar. Dalot's trying to get there, because it takes quite a lot of time to get there from fullback a lot of the time when you're not starting there. So it does leave you with a lack of width. I completely agree. Maguire is quietly picking up some form lately. Yeah, I think he's been one of United's best centre-backs so far this season. When he has played, I'd like to see him given a chance next to Varane after the international break, if Varane's back. Why is Varane injured again? Let's talk about the injuries. United went into this game without the first choice right-back, who seems to be Wan-Bissaka in Ten Hag's eyes, without the first choice right centre-back, Rafael Varane, without the first choice left centre-back, Sandro Martinez, without the first choice left-back, Luke Shaw, second choice left-back, Malacia, third choice left-back, Reguilon. It's unheard of. Is this what's the word I'm looking for? Is it unlucky to have that many injuries, or is it a problem with the way in which you're applying load to the players and the amount of work they're having to do and the amount of ground they're having to cover, either in matches or in training? What do you think? FP coming in with some stats from Todibo, who I feel we should have signed in summer, and I said we should have. 190 touches today with 165 passes completed. Out of 181 passes as well. I will have to give that match a watch to see what he was doing. From the right centre-back position, in more of a back four than normal as well. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka as well is a problem. He never gets injured. He's good when his deficiencies are covered. His passing can unlock deep defences, and he's still an aerial set-piece target. Harry Maguire, of course, I assume you're talking about. Let's not forget, Scott McTominay scored the big goal, but Harry Maguire got an assist for it as well. I know he'll get his criticism, as he always does, for existing, it seems, but he was huge. He was pivotal. The players need to take some responsibility for their bad performances. Too many times they make some basic mistakes. Yeah, this squad technically still makes a lot of basic errors. A lot of basic errors. Is there anything else in particular we want to talk about today? I don't really want to break it down too much from a tactical point of view, because I want to cover that in tomorrow morning's video, where I can do it a little bit more concise and kind of, rather than sitting here for an hour talking about it, I can just kind of punch information and tell you guys what happened. So we'll cover that tomorrow more. Is there anything in particular you guys want to talk about for the rest of this in terms of this match? I do have to leave shortly because I've got a party to go to. I tell you, I was going to that party in a foul mood on the 90th minute. In a really foul mood. But again, McTominay has saved the day. And maybe I'll go in a bit of a better mood now. Also, it's given us a way better energy stream as well. I just want Shaw, Sandro Martinez and Wan-Bissaka back. Yeah. Ten Hag needs to decide now who gets dropped and who gets the arm around the shoulder. Yeah, something I was saying the other day. Did I say that in the end? Did we say it in stream maybe? It's going to be interesting when this squad is fully fit, if that ever happens, actually what the best 11 becomes. Because the balance is not quite on there to get your best 11 players on the pitch. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe I missed it, but thoughts on Hoyle in this game? you have missed it, but yeah, I thought he was really good. His hold-up play was good. His link play was pretty good as well. He just didn't get enough support around him, enough runners around him. Can you please do an analysis on how teams like City break down the low block and why United seem to struggle heavily with it? Yeah, I could definitely do that. I think the main reason, though, just kind of quickly to give you a bit of information, is typically United don't sustain possession that well. And also when they lose possession, they don't win it back as quickly as what a team like City do. So that's definitely one of the problems. City suffocate you for 90 minutes. And when you are behind the ball for 90 minutes, you're going to make a mistake. There's going to be a lapse of judgment. United don't suffocate teams in that same way. Reason one, City have 20 world-class players. Very true. And yeah, you can't blame Højlund at all in this match. It was him against three centre-backs most of the time, as Danny has pointed out there. He was isolated. Danny saying, go to the party, time to celebrate with a good mood. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. Unless anyone has anything particular to talk about. I've seen someone asking about McTominay as a striker. I think we've already covered that in the stream. In terms of what's stopping him from becoming a top striker, it's difficult to say because we haven't really seen him play there, so I'd have to talk about it more. Party time. Sounds good to me. Like I said, thanks to this guy, Scott McTominay, I'm going in a much better mood than what I might have been. We're going into the international break in a much better mood. Much better mood, did I say that right? Let me know in the comments of this VOD or either on another video tomorrow some content you'd like to see over the international break, because I don't know if I'll be live streaming because there isn't too much to talk about during the international break. So let me know some content that you would like to see over the next 2 weeks or so. But thankfully, thanks to Scott McTominay, thanks to Harry Maguire late on, Garnacho, and even Onana making a few key saves around the hour mark, thankfully we go into this international break with 3 points, a slight boost in confidence maybe, and a little bit of pressure off Erik ten Hag. So, you'd like a scout report episode? I'm working on a few, but I want to go a bit more in depth than I normally do. So they probably won't come until the next month because I'm really looking in depth at the moment. There's also an academy graduate which I've got my eye on. I was watching him live this afternoon, so keep an eye out for that video coming soon-ish as well. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you to everyone who has popped in for 30 seconds, anyone who's been here for the full 55 minutes, thank you very much. Thank you to anyone who's liked the stream, anyone who has shared it with someone else, anyone who's left a comment, and even you guys who have just sat there quietly without really saying anything. Thank you very much. I am just reading your comments about videos we could do. I'm not going to speak about it now, but I will take a note of all of these comments. I do greatly appreciate all of you guys. But yeah, apart from that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you in the next one tomorrow morning. Notifications on for United versus Brentford. How United won, thanks to McTominay.